Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Tokyo Crypto Show. Episode number 94. Is the Bitcoin bull market over? I am joined by my co-host, Charlie from cultivatecrypto.com. Charlie, it's been a while, man. How you been?
Yeah, it's been a long while. What, like a month? Been
Yeah,
doing good. How about you?
I'm relaxed, man. I'm happy. Just chilling out. And I'm not trying to make any like crazy theories, but I just will say that I did take a break from YouTube and the market's completely crashed.
They need you, man. Stay this time. I did do a little shave this morning on the side, so
Yep.
I don't know. Let's see if the prices hold.
Well, what we got going on here today, guys? Look, you know, we're getting a lot of people contacting us and a lot of people asking us this one question that is so, respectfully saying so foolish. People are saying, "Oh my God, is the Bitcoin bull market over? Is the bull market over?" And the long short of it is absolutely fucking not. It is not even close to being over. What we saw during this past couple of weeks, this was a coordinated mass media propaganda attack to get people to get shaken out of crypto. Because what people don't seem to realize, and we're going to continue to reiterate this here on the Tokyo Crypto Show, there is a massive Bitcoin and Ethereum liquidity problem. Okay. Just because your Coinbase balance says you have 4 Bitcoin and 30 Ethereum or whatever, that doesn't actually mean you actually have that in your reserves. That is just a digital representation of what you are owed. Unless you have it on your private wallet with your private keys, no crypto. And these institutions are pushing extremely hard to get as much crypto as possible. So, without a shadow of doubt, that's, and then there's somebody already in the chat saying, you don't know that. No, asshole, you don't know that. You're so wrong. That's hilarious. Um, so there's a massive Ethereum and liquidity, Bitcoin Ethereum, excuse me, there's a massive Bitcoin and Ethereum liquidity problem. Charlie, what did you say? What is the percentage of all Bitcoin that's actually on exchanges versus offline?
Good question. I'd have to look that up, but
I think it's like
yeah,
so 5 to 7%.
could be. Yeah, there's a lot of the things that I pay attention to just recently, especially just with the dip and everything, is looking at inflows and outflows from exchanges. Oftentimes, when you look at a lot of coins coming onto exchanges from dormant wallets or wallets that hold a lot of Bitcoin, sometimes that can be a sign of a time where maybe whales are going to sell. And same with outflows as well, meaning a time when they're going to hold. And actually, one of the recent stats that I've seen is whales buying on OTC desks increased massively during the last dip. Yeah, around when it hit 30,000, a lot of the wallets that were buying on OTC were taking them off from OTC, buying them on OTC, taking them off there, and then putting them in a wallet that they're going to hold longer term. And that last time that spiked so much was back in February, early February, when Bitcoin was around 30K as well. So it seems like that number psychologically for the whales is where they love to buy.
30K, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we talked about this that, when we have a massive pump up, like we'll see Bitcoin retrace to 30K. And like that's literally where we were at. I didn't see us going sub 30K. I had a couple people in my DMs like, yo, we're definitely going 30K, sub 30K. I was like, listen, dude, you just need to fucking take a Xanax, chill out.
Chill pill, bro.
Take a literal chill pill. So look, Charlie's got a lot of hard data to back this up, but I just want to make my case real quick. My case is very simple, okay? And pay attention, sit up straight, get your crayons out, write this on the wall. You have to realize this, guys. All right. First of all, if you're an excellent trader like Charlie, when Charlie makes an excellent trade, when Charlie makes a shitty trade, the emotions are absolutely the same and they are non-existent. They're just boom. I just did it. It's logic. Make money. We succeeded. Lost money. We must optimize. Okay. You guys have got to take your emotions out of the game. Secondly, the fundamental technology that cryptocurrency is based upon is not going to disappear. The use case for this technology is not going to disappear. It is absolutely 1000% here to stay. Nothing can suppress it. Okay. It's like taking the red pill. It's like, eating filet mignon, right? Once you get a taste of high level data, high level food. Once you can bang a really, really hot girl, like you're tainted. Like that's all you want. And so with cryptocurrency, money being transferred so seamlessly and the money is accumulating in value because Bitcoin in itself is deflationary. It is not an inflationary asset. That alone should give you the peace of mind. I am not a micro. Charlie's the micro guy. I am the macro guy, and I just see the big picture that this is an absolute financial revolution that is occurring. Nothing can stop it. Governments can't stop it. Like Bitcoin is here to stay, and it's only going to get more and more powerful because the banking system is A, extremely corrupt, and B, extremely obsolete. The IMF, all these morons are trying so hard to stifle cryptocurrency, but all they're doing is bringing more notoriety to it, therefore increasing the knowledge base, therefore increasing the amount of people that are participating in. Even all the morons out there who have a 90% portfolio full of Dogecoin, they are still helping out this move forward because when they all get fleeced, they'll be like, oh, and I should have bought something more, intelligent like Ethereum and or Bitcoin. So we're definitely not at the end of the bull market because we're definitely not at the end of cryptocurrency having relevancy. That's the biggest thing here.
Yeah, and actually, at least at the current moment, cryptocurrency in terms of the adoption curve of it is actually growing faster than the internet in the early days, which is pretty interesting to see. So it's if it's ahead of where the internet was adopted, I mean, where do you think it can go from here? Pretty good, right?
Yeah. And for example, Timothy, put the link in the chat. I want to talk about some stuff that's going on right now. I mean, if you just take a look at what is actually happening right now, like, okay, I met some really cool guys today in Tokyo, really like a bachelor pad of extremely intelligent entrepreneurs. And shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Double Donnies. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to my man Mateo. Guys, don't forget to take the trash out. You know what I mean? But they are selling like this piece of art here. I'm going to show you this NFT. It's pretty dope. And this is an example of like one thing that is just available. Take a look at this. This is an NFT they're selling. Okay, this is a Hajime Kinoko Red Series Samsara. It is a NFT of a woman being tied up in like shibari kind of bondage. It's really good stuff. This is just a digital piece of art. It's available on OpenSea. I'll put the link in the chat. But that right now is being auctioned on, and it has a 6.25 Ethereum reserve price met. Okay, people are buying this art. If this was the middle of the end of the bull market, this right here would not be happening. Okay, but like I said, these little things right here are just indicators that we are absolutely in the middle of a bull market, and this is not going away anytime soon. Okay, so that's just one example of like what's just happening around. Like what would you say is the cause of all this FUD of people? I would say definitely the coordinated news attack was something that messed with a lot of people's heads.
Mainstream media talking a lot of BS, right? So, you first got the Elon FUD, and so Elon, basically taking the green energy edge, basically, and saying, he's basically just, he's like, I want to push it up, I want to push it down, I want to play with it and make some money on it, right?
God.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that in a second, but
funny.
and so yeah, there's some up and down happening with that news there, obviously, and then with they're like, okay, that only brought it down to 40K. Let's see if we can add on some Chinese FUD, right? Classic Chinese FUD. How many times did we see that in 2017?
Yep.
And then they put that there, and then I even got people sending messages saying, well, I heard the Chinese miners are starting to shut down. And that's usually actually that FUD has been there many, many times.
Mhm.
And I think the last two times that I remember, or at least the last one time that I clearly remember the Chinese FUD coming out and them saying, "Oh, we're starting to turn off some miners," was in about November, December of 2018, so the bottom of the last bear market. So, yeah, it's something that they often do, and they do it at the same times each time. And so Reuters actually falsely reported on the Chinese FUD, saying that this was new news, but this was actually news that's been around for quite a while with China. Their love-hate relationship with Bitcoin. But if they have something like a majority of miners globally based out of China, and actually mostly pushed into areas with renewable energy, it basically counteracts those two bits of information. One, which is it's bad, for the environment, or it's bad on their carbon footprint or whatever, which is bullshit. If 75% of Bitcoin's energy, 75 or 76% of it is renewable energy based. And then two, if China's the world leader in mining Bitcoin, they're not, and literally they're not shutting down right now. Bitcoin, still has all that hashing power going out there in China. So both pieces of news absolutely untrue, basically. And those are the things that the normies pay attention to, right? And actually, I do have a chart here showing that the people who were selling were the people who were in Bitcoin 6 months or less for the most part. And so you got a lot of new players coming into the market with maybe bigger money, right? Let's say, for example, maybe some people who used to work on Wall Street, they have a good chunk of money and they're like, hey, I want to play in this market. But then they take out once they have profit, right? So they're not looking to stay in necessarily for the long term. So we got a lot of different things happening. But the biggest thing, right, going back to kind of the liquidity crisis, scarcity of how many coins there are. These guys want as many coins as possible, right? The rich people, the whales, they want to get as many Bitcoin as well. And I saw one guy actually tweet recently. He's like, I recently had, and I don't know if this is true or not, right? It's just on Twitter. But one guy was like, I basically got to something like 1,000 Bitcoin and 10,000 Ethereum recently during the dip, And so if people are bragging about this or looking to do that, then obviously that they're accumulating during these prices. So it's interesting to watch. But the other piece of information which was interesting was this happened last year as well. So a lot of people said, when institutional investors or really, really large investors from the traditional spaces get into crypto, there's going to be less volatility because more money in the market, and they're going to want to hold it longer, which is, I called absolute BS on that when it first came out. And we see that here as well. So there was a lot of that new money also doing leverage, right? Trying to borrow on their Bitcoin so they could have more Bitcoin, and as it increases, they gain more. And so by doing that, they put a lot of risk in the market. And that's why when you saw that end of the event, you had that huge wick where Bitcoin was basically down to like 38K, but then very quickly within the day, it went down to 30K and then back up to 38. That whole area was basically just liquidating the people who were leveraged too long with too much position size. So a lot of the new people basically getting wrecked because they don't know how this market usually acts. And so getting liquidated and getting taken off the exchanges. So the exchanges, the leveraged exchanges like Binance, Bybit, these kinds of places, they get more Bitcoin. And so that solves their liquidity crisis a little bit. But, exchanges like Bitflyer here in Japan, right, they're taking longer because you're right about that liquidity thing and the scarcity of the coins, because a lot of these exchanges, like this one in Japan, Bitflyer, which has one of the biggest volume exchanges in Japan, they take longer than they used to transfer and pay out when you move in Ethereum than Bitcoin, because actually they have probably more demand for Ethereum, at least in the last few months.
I don't know if you know about this because I'm out, Mr. Social Butterfly.
Yeah.
They are massively rejecting new applicants. Do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. They have actually a harder process, more steps to go through now because so many people want in.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, so basically, Bitflyer, for you guys that are not in Japan with us, Bitflyer is basically the Coinbase of Japan, and they're actually rejecting clients right now. That's a big red flag. I met a new guy, a new cool guy today, Donnie, and he's tried to sign up. He's he's a like us, and he has a Gaijin card. He's totally legit. He tried to sign up for Bitflyer, and they were like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yep.
And he had to sign up at Kraken.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but
Very interesting.
me, what's funny is I met a Japanese girl recently too, and she was telling me like, I'm Japanese and I tried to sign up for Blipfire, and they like told me go to hell.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's fucking insane, dude. That in itself is insane. Let me do some catch up. I just got one thing to say about the news starting. I was on. I should have mentioned, like, say one thing. If I just say it with pictures worth 1,000 words. That's all I got to say right there.
I love it.
I fucking hate that, dude. This guy has lost a fan for life after he'd done that shit. I was a huge fan, but when he did that, straight up, like I hate when people lie to me, and it's not because they're lying, because whatever, I don't give a shit, right?
Mm.
But when people lie to me, I hate it the most because they're insulting my intelligence. Like they
Yep.
think like, oh, he's dumb enough to fucking believe this lie. So like, if you're gonna lie to me, first of all, you can't handle reality if you gotta lie to me.
Mm.
Second of all, that's the biggest thing that just insults my intelligence. Like, how dare you? And then this guy saying like, pulling like it sounds like his fucking 5 out of 10 SJW wife wrote that shit. Girl named Grimes, like, because of the sustainability of cryptocurrency, we're gonna be pulling out of Bitcoin, and like, it's just fucking sickening. It just
Yeah.
makes me just sick. Took 6 months.
And, and the thing that's interesting when he talks about, renewable energy with crypto and with Bitcoin specifically, right? You can tell there's a huge amount of holes in his argument. All the things that he's said have been basically proven to be incorrect for a long time. And you also hear tether FUD coming up by some people. That's also been proven incorrect, or at least not 100% correct over the last 4 years as well. So they're digging up all these old arguments, right, that have been proven not to be true, and then they just put them back in the mainstream media. So it's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, the bull market's still going. So, whatever, just more time to buy.
Speaking of delusional, Motley Investor with $100 super chat saying, "How about Hex top 3 coin in 1 month? Enjoy the ride." So
Actually, the one thing about Hex right now,
Hex is going to take over Tether. It's the number 3 coin.
well, number 3 coin, whatever, put that aside, it will appreciate in price pretty well in the next few months. They're doing one thing which is pretty unique in the market, is they're adding basically, Richard Hart is adding a new project which is called Pulse Chain, which is an Ethereum fork. So it's basically kind of similar to what Bitcoin Cash did to Bitcoin, right? It forked Bitcoin, made a new version of it. He's going to fork Ethereum and make Pulse Chain. And so there's this speculation around that. And because the hex that you have there staked will then move over to Pulse Chain. So there's enough speculation there that there'll be some price appreciation for sure. But we'll see how it goes.
What's this thing? Somebody booked a one-way ticket to the moon. What's that all about? I just saw an alert on
when people subscribe to the channel.
Okay. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Just the game we got to play here on YouTube. We need you guys to smash like. We need you to share this video. We need you to leave a comment for you guys that watch on replay. You guys are really important to both of us. So please, if you got multiple devices, just whip them all out, bro. iPad, Android, iPhone, Macintosh, MacBook, whatever you got to do, PC, Master Race, smash that like button. We need to take that like all the way up to the moon. So obviously we have, we basically gave you some data, some news, and some more so strong opinions, right? But now we actually have some hard facts that Charlie's going to present us with what's exactly going on currently with this market. So Charlie, I think you're gonna pull up some charts first.
Yeah. I'll pull up a meme just for fun, and then I'll pull up a few charts, and we can go through them and talk about them. We don't have to go through them all at once. But yeah, I think basically all the data that I've pulled up here, really solid for what was happening. Yeah, exactly right.
Traditional finance was green industry.
Oh, how many thousands of ATMs they have globally, how many buildings they have with lights turned on all the time.
Accepted the truth.
Yeah, it's just insane. Thanks, Reality Production Machine, for subscribing right now. Appreciate you so much.
If they really wanted a lot of green energy, what they would do is they just shut down the current financial system, which is functioning very poorly, and just make crypto the main thing. But that's never going to happen, at least not willingly.
So all the like, for me, one of my go-to sources when it comes to like just solid based cryptocurrency knowledge, obviously it's Charlie, cultivatecrypto.com. It's Miguel Delacoste Crypto. But a guy that really isn't too tightly connected with us, we've had a couple interactions with him behind the scenes, but Mr. Bob Lucas and the
Oh
40
yeah.
journey,
Yep.
he's just a very like sobering guy to just watch his videos. He's just very bullish on Bitcoin, and ultimately the fundamentals still stay true in regards to this. The
Yep.
market is Bitcoin's bitch. Okay, Bitcoin is still Big Daddy. Bitcoin go up, market go up, number go up. Bitcoin go down, number go down, market go down. Right? We're probably going to see we're probably going to see a Ethereum flipping at one point. I think Ethereum will take the number one spot temporarily sometime in late summer, and then we're going to see like a massive big Ethereum spike, and the news is going to be people be frothing out the mouth, jumping off buildings, killing themselves, humans.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
It'd be insane. I'm looking forward to the memes. But when everything goes back to normal, we're going to see Bitcoin reclaim the throne, and then those memes are going to be spicy, and then like the market's just going to go like ballistic until the end of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think into next year, and I think the thing that's really really funny about the people who are against Bitcoin in crypto, right? It's kind of like, first of all, it's like, okay, like why? But second of all, a lot of people were flexing for about a month there when Bitcoin hit its high on April 12th, and then Ethereum hit its high on May 12th, basically almost exactly a month, or pretty much exactly a month later. A lot of people during that month when we had that alt season and the alts were going crazy and Ethereum was going crazy, a lot of people were like, oh good, Bitcoin's dead. And especially the media, right? Like, oh, Bitcoin is finally letting go of the market, the market's finally coming. And then of course, as soon as Bitcoin drops below 40K, the alts turn from green to all of a sudden death red, right? And so the fact that they want Bitcoin to, I get why they want other projects to succeed, but wanting to Bitcoin to fail as a person who is in crypto just makes absolutely no sense. And to me, it proves that some people don't quite understand what really runs the market or how this market works. And, maybe in the next bull cycle, there might be a situation where, maybe Ethereum gets enough network effect that it can lead the market, right? And they can lead the market together at some point in the future. But until that point in time, right, it's not going to happen this bull market where Ethereum leads for the majority of the bull market. The majority of the bull market will, be taken by Bitcoin's lead. So yeah, but I agree. Bob Lucas is definitely a very sobering, opinion to go and pay attention to.
Yeah. So, like I said, going back to what we're talking about here, we're gonna pull up the charts right now. So, Charlie, whenever you're ready, just pull up those charts.
You're good to go. So,
you want to do Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Yes. Hold on. Actually, give me 30 seconds.
Right, 30 seconds on the clock. Name your crypto in your portfolio that is the dominant placeholder. Go, guys. Type it into the chat right there. I'm gonna read the super chat. In the meantime, Rob Foster, $4.99 super chat says Tether out around the 15th, buy back the monthly dip before first accumulate coin. This isn't SpaceX Tesla surgery. Rob, what the fuck did you just say? Motley investor, keep on sending that money, buddy. $100 super chat. John, you consider a stable coin number 3 crypto.
So
if it makes you feel better, yes, Hex will have a higher market cap than Tether. And also, Motley investor, if you send me 1 Bitcoin, I will send you 2 right now.
So you have accepted the truth.
I'll put the link in the chat. Let's see what everybody's holding in the audience right now. Wow. Okay. So a lot of people say, Peter says Hex and Sell, rest in peace. Tom says Ethereum. Bob says DOT. My man Pablo says Ethereum, good hold. Artemis, smart man as usual, good hold. Chesty, staying true to his boomer tactics, holding Bitcoin, massive amounts of Bitcoin. Nice to see you again, Chesty. Chainlink, interesting. Cody says sell.
Nice.
Chainlink, Ethereum, DOT, War Chief Zeke, solid name, dude. Solid name, solid avatar. I want that guy to die so bad. Uniswap, Enron, very interesting. I think that's like it's a little bit of a dark horse. I think we just have to wait for it to cook up a little bit more. A lot of people seem to realize that Uniswap is the largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet. It just does the most volume, and it's because it's decentralized. Decentralized currency, decentralized exchanges are the futures, guy. So, oh, you ready, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay, here. Sorry, I didn't pay. Yeah, you want to meme it up? There you go.
Gotta meme it up. So, if anybody wants some good memes every once in a while, we got Crypto Chimp at Chimpanzee. If you or Cryptanzee, if you want to go follow him on Twitter. But yeah, this meme is a pretty good one here with Elon Musk basically baptizing anybody who's been new to crypto, right? The 2021 crypto traders new to the market. This is basically how they feel after this dip, apparently. You gotta hand them over to the IRS and the debt collectors at the end of the day, right? But yeah,
that is funny.
It is what it is. Yeah, good times, right? But yeah, this is also a good bit of information put out here by our friend Plan C, who is on Moon Gang with us on Monday my time, Sunday American time. But here, basically, what we have is people who have sold their Bitcoin, and what we see here is we have about people who are in the market for 1 to 3 months, right, selling the majority of that area there.
Simpler for the people out there. So what is the orange indicates what?
So people who have sold their Bitcoin, right? When this goes down, it means people are selling. And here we have 1 to 3 people who have been in the market for 1 to 3 months.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like they bought on May 3rd and then they sold on May 24th, basically.
Yeah, well, this is increased selling, right?
Yeah.
And then decreased selling, but they sold the most during this period of time, and some of them in profit, right? But there's a lot of them who sold at the very end at a loss. And then here you have the people who've been in 3 to 6 months. But you notice anybody who's in this market for longer than that, mainly the people who've been in for over a year, are the people who aren't selling. They're not moving their Bitcoin. They're just holding for the most part. So I think that's interesting to take note of. It's basically new money getting scared, which is kind of interesting.
Toilet paper hands.
Sorry?
Toilet paper hands.
Yeah, exactly. Cotton candy hands, paper mache hands, toilet paper hands, a lot of different types. But here, what we had in the last cycle, right, with going on Bob Lucas's 60-day cycles, we had our first negative cycle, meaning or bearish cycle, where for these cycles, we look at, is the high of the cycle before day 30 or after day 30? If it's after day 30, it's usually a bullish cycle. If it's before day 30, it's a beginning of a bearish cycle. Now, if we get 2 of these bearish cycles in a row, that would mean that the trend has potentially changed into a downtrend. So one of these in a bull market, right? We had one earlier in the bull market, I think about May or June of last year, so around a similar timing. But it was just one off, and then it goes back to bull mode. So we'll see what happens here in the next 60 days. But here we had day 19 as the high. We have a low here on day 54 of the cycle. So the next 60-day cycle is basically most likely starting. And so we're measuring that here. We're only in day 6 of this cycle so far, so just starting. And if this cycle goes the full 60 days, that would bring us to about July 19th. So I mentioned this on my show yesterday, which is...
This is going already.
Sorry?
This is sexy. I like where it's going already.
Oh yeah, it's looking good. And so the time to pay attention to is here on June 19th.
Ooh,
so on
a crypto mindset course.
Yes, sir. So if we get a good run up into June 19th, and then we see more highs, not all-time highs, but highs from the beginning of this cycle. So if we continue to make highs into the second half of this cycle, that would be bullish, and means then we'd probably build up here going from now into July. So from right now, based on what usually happens with the 60-day cycles, we have probably another 1 to 2 weeks at least of upside, and then we'll see, come June 19th if Bitcoin wants to continue that trend, or if it does go down. Basically, if it makes a high before that point and then goes down from there, that would be, not so good. It wouldn't be necessarily the end of the bull market, but it could mean like a mini bear market and potentially trying to make a low lower here than the 30K area. So June 19th is a really important date to watch around. The 5 days before and the 5 days after are times where you want to be really paying attention. So basically,
happen.
Sorry,
what do you think is going to happen?
I think the most likely scenario is we actually have a bullish trend. So we basically move up Bitcoin here. We probably won't. It won't be obviously like a straight move, but this is my main scenario.
Get back to $1 trillion market cap without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh yeah. I think the main move here is, gaining that 100-day moving average back, or sorry, 200-day moving average, gaining that back again. That's the first step. Then potentially coming up to one of these areas here around 44,000, and then here around 49,000, potentially getting rejected there for a little bit, and then kind of going sideways, and then gaining more momentum, and then potentially coming back up here to that 55 or so K range. So that's what we're looking for. That's the best scenario, but that's also what I think would be the main scenario. And that doesn't mean that then when we find the cycle low here around the middle of July, right, which is another good potential buying opportunity, doesn't mean if we come back down to, let's say, 40K or something, that just means more time to buy. And, a cycle after that, we could see like a sideways cycle. So we might not see a new all-time high for a while. That's very possible and still bullish, but it's another time basically when the whales can be accumulating and average people too. But during this time, you'll get a lot of the people who are newer to the market shook out because they don't really understand what's going on. Basically, they're not used to it, and they just jumped in the market for the quick gains and bought, the Shiba Inu coin and lost all their money. So
look at this question. This relates to the chart on the screen right now. It says, what is your speculation about the JP Morgans and Goldmans entering in the mid-summer timeframe? I mean, it's pretty simple. Month number go up.
Yeah, well, and they're already entering. So Goldman Sachs has been talking about Bitcoin's price since 2019, as far as I'm aware. So I'm sure in the background, these guys have been stacking. But what JP Morgan is doing coming into the summer is actually allowing their clients, their accredited investors, to be able to, basically invest in Bitcoin through them. So it will be positive for the market. But like I said before, when we have large institutional investors getting into the market, they love to, the sharks there, they love to push its prices up and down. So they're going to do their best to try to create volatility in the mainstream media. And they're also going to do their best to create volatility in the price. So they're going to make sure that they get some good entries. It's not going to be a straight up ride back to 100K or something, or past 60K into 100K. So that's what we got here with Bitcoin. With Ethereum, actually, the most interesting thing here about Ethereum, so it's trying to gain the 50-day moving average here. Once it can do that, then it's pretty positive. So we're here struggling in that area a little bit. But the most interesting thing is here, if you take a look at the previous low of the last cycle, that area was not broken. So actually Ethereum, despite having a big downtrend, has still maintained its uptrend. Now, if you kind of take, if we kind of zoom out here, and we take this uptrend that we've had, the higher level uptrend, we've obviously had an uptrend for quite a while, but if we take the higher level uptrend from here, from January until now, you can see that was basically broken for a bit and now has been reclaimed. So that's pretty bullish as well for Ethereum. So yeah, everything's looking good here. But the one other thing, if I basically take these lines off so it's not quite as confusing, the one other thing here, which is really interesting, is since this is still a bull cycle, to kind of compare this to what's happening with Bitcoin. So if I just take off those projections and looking at just what's happened with the price here. So from end of January, right, Bitcoin moved up pretty well. Kind of, you could see here the higher highs were being made and the higher lows were being made until here, but also the higher highs were losing momentum. And while this was then going into the downtrend and struggling to stay up here, then what we saw with Ethereum during that time, right? If we go from, let's say, end of January, Ethereum was following Bitcoin, but then finally took over from here, from April. So if we just look at from around April 12th or 10th, when Bitcoin had its high, Ethereum basically took over for about a month, whereas Bitcoin from that April 12th or 14th high, right, started going down from that point. So yeah, Ethereum staying in the uptrend while Bitcoin did a negative cycle.
Massive.
It just shows the momentum is definitely gearing towards Ethereum's end right now. So
I'll tell you what, since we all hate Chase Bank here, so I sent a wire transfer on May 10th to get over here to the United States to catch that fucking falling knife that was Ethereum. I didn't care because I just knew that I was going to get it on discount.
Yeah.
It is now May 26th, and I still have not received my money. They're just like, sorry, we're processing your funds at the moment, and I missed a huge opportunity. So I don't even know what to do. For all you geniuses out there, if there's anything legally I can do or complain to like some kind of organization, because I missed a massive buying window. Because dude, Ethereum has recovered so fast, already at 2,700 after hitting 1,800 at low.
Yep.
I mean, and it wicked down to like, what was it, 15, 17? What was it?
Yeah, it looks like the low here was 1728, but I mean, that's a wick. So I mean, the majority of the area here is around like 1900 to 2000 where it was for the majority of the time. But the thing here was interesting as well. Ethereum made a low here on the 23rd, while Bitcoin made its low here on the 19th. So Bitcoin's still leading, even though, so it's leading in terms of time, but Ethereum is leading in terms of price.
Right. No, for sure. And do you want to do, because like I've been saying this since the beginning of the year, and I'm really sticking my guns with it, the comparison of Ethereum performing this year, Bitcoin performed in 2017. I believe you have that projected as well, right?
Yeah. So this here is a chart by our friend Raul Paul over at Real Vision. Smart man, very smart man.
I do love this guy.
Yep. And if you pull up this chart here, we have basically Bitcoin from 2011 to 2019. So obviously here in the middle, the last bull run. And then we have Ethereum here on from 2016 September until now, and that's the blue line. So you can see Ethereum here from the early part in 2016 versus Bitcoin in its early days was not exactly the same, but very, very similar. And then obviously the downtrend as well. And this uptrend is pretty close.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that kind of correlation there. And I mean, if Ethereum, price wise, right, reaches towards 20,000, that would be beyond some people's expectations. And it would be under other people, the Uber bulls expectations, but that would still be a massively solid number in this bull market. Because earlier in this bull market, Ethereum was as low as like $90. So pretty massive.
Absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah. And then if you also take a look at, Bitcoin here versus 2017, you can see the white line here is Bitcoin's current price. The blue line is 2016 to 2018's bull run. I mean, we still have a long way to go to even match the last bull run.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's just clear as day. Like all we're in right now is an opportunity to get a massive discount. And like, look, here's the thing for all you guys out there, because I know how you guys feel. I know how you guys get real emotional. But right now, when you're feeling like, oh, I'm going to wait for the price to go down a little bit more, I'm going to wait for the price to go down a little bit more. This is the time, obviously not financial advice. This is the time to buy. However, what's funny is when the price is skyrocketing, everybody's like, we got to buy now. We got to buy. We got to take out a loan on the house and buy. I'm like, you guys are doing it wrong. Now is the time to be frantic. Okay. What's the what's the fear and greed index at right now?
Good question. Let me pull it up.
Ooh.
22. And so, yeah, we've been in extreme fear for a little while, which is really fun to watch. And this is actually a really good indicator as well. You'll notice here 2 times that were significant to buy. It was, here you had basically it doesn't go below or touch 10 for quite most of the last bear market, actually. And the time that it did go below 10 in the last bear market was at the very end here in November and December 2018. And then we have another one here in April last year after the flash crash from the beer bug. And then we have this one here. We actually touched, I believe, 10 on the fear greed index here a few days ago. So it doesn't mean it's going to recover immediately, but this gives a good indication that the market's scared enough to be out, and people are have sold at a loss. A lot of the newer people, as I mentioned before. So that's a good sign, right, for buying when there's blood on the streets, for sure.
Yeah. This guy right here, Commando 1529, very simple. Extreme fear equal buy, extreme greed equal sell.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
Yep.
Oh, did it really do that? Somebody's saying that Andrew Tate said the bull market is over. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything, but we'll just let history do the speaking for us.
Yeah, I mean, you just basically, the price of Bitcoin doesn't listen to anybody. It does what it wants. Bitcoin does Bitcoin things, and so we'll see how that ages. But we look at the stock to flow ratio by Plan B, and he actually had a tweet here today, just about an hour or so ago. And he says, in my opinion, 60K was not the top, up and onwards for Bitcoin. I think he's correct in his model, but he's a little, I think he's incorrect in his timing of this bull market. He's thinking $288,000 per Bitcoin by the end of this year. And actually, the one interesting thing you'll notice about his model, so just to let people who who might not be as familiar about what the stock to flow model is, basically it's just looking at Bitcoin scarcity, and every time it becomes more scarce and the amount of new Bitcoin is reduced by half, that's when we get a bull market. So you see here the burgundy line, which is the average price that Bitcoin's fair value should be. And then you have here when Bitcoin reduces that supply at the purple. Then after that, you get a nice increase above that burgundy line. The bear market is below it. Purple goes above it, comes back below. Purple hasn't yet gone above it. So we're not yet fully, at the peak of the bull market yet, and then it'll come back below it. And the other thing here, which is interesting, on the turn of the burgundy line, the first bull market top on this chart was here, right above it in 2013. And then here, you can see it was delayed. The turn on that burgundy line was around July, and the top here was in December. That was about a 6-month lag compared to the first time. And then if we did like a 1-year lag, right, from where this turns, that would be, the turn is in May of 2021. So a 1-year lag from that would actually be May of 2022, right? And so we want to see a good move up above here. What the average price that this model is estimating is around $90,000 per Bitcoin. So we want to see Bitcoin go well above $90,000 or $100,000 sometime next year. If it happens this year, wonderful. I think it will by the end of the year go around that area. But I think we have these lengthening cycles, which this downtrend just shows it gives Bitcoin a lot more time and a lot of people a lot more time to accumulate during this market. So this is probably the simplest explanation that we're still in a bull market. Basically above this peak directly, 6-month delayed, 1-year delayed, haven't been up here yet. So that's the simplest way to put it. I showed this on my channel prior to the dip, actually.
Vintage Charlie.
Yeah. that I gotta hand it to 2019 Charlie. You know, less than 100 views on this number 30 stream, you know, the 30th stream I ever did, and only 19 likes. Man, this is a gem of a stream. And we have
so glad that haircut is gone. Feels like you escaped from the 1970s set of a Brady.
Yeah, man, it was kung fu fighting. No, this is when I was in New York actually for Consensus in 2019. And yeah, it was just whatever. I wasn't thinking too much about that. But yeah, we have some OGs in the chat. We got Brent W, who became a Bitcoin maximalist. We have yourself saying rash decisions, you say, and KP9477, who is actually, I believe, in today's chat still. Definitely in there. So, you know, hats off to you guys. But this guy here, I would not have remembered this from 2019 if it wasn't for James. So appreciate you. He says, hodl for life and don't trade against Charlie. When he made that comment, I was like, I got to go back and see that video's charts and see what was I talking about. But this is really interesting. And I mentioned this prior to the Bitcoin dip. And to be honest, should have listened to myself, because I did get kind of stuck in the bull phase a little bit too much mentally. Because what we see here is this was when Bitcoin's price was $8,200 in 2019. And here I have an Elliott wave count of a 5-wave sequence for this bull market. What does that mean? It means we go up for one wave and then we come down. We go up for a third wave and then we come down for the fourth wave, and then we go up for the final wave of the bull market. Now, the thing that I think is really interesting about this, if you just look closely at the chart, and I did check on the chart in the background as well, is this price here, right? This is when Bitcoin was $8,000 in May of 2019, so 2 years ago. And then we had this high here, and this high on the chart, I looked back at it, was around like 14, 15,000. And the actual high in this, if you look at the timeline, right, this is right in the middle or a little bit in the second half of 2019. And we actually got the high in the end of June, beginning of July 2019. So I put this a little bit later than it actually happened, but around the similar price. So it's pretty close, not exact, but pretty close. And then the wave 2 here is right on that line of the end of 2019. So this is, and I put it down here, you can see this line over here to $4,000. What actually happened, right, was in March of 2020, we got that low during the Corona crash, and it was $3,880. So also not too far off. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Well, what about wave 3? Look at the price, $60,000, right, is where that line is right there. And in terms of time, you can see 21 in the first quarter, basically, of 2021. So we got the high in April, right, April 14th, around 64,000. Not too shabby of a prediction there. And then this came down here, and I looked at where it would have been on the chart. It was roughly around $32,000 to $35,000 potentially. And this is smack dab here in the middle of 2021, right? That came like a little bit earlier. And so that was really interesting to me. But I remember I did a show on this just saying, oh, you know, looking back at 2019 Charlie's charts, I was like, I don't think Bitcoin will come back down that area, right? I think we'll maybe go a little bit higher than 60K, maybe 70K or 69K, or a little bit higher, 77K. And then we'll come down at a higher low, you know, maybe 40K or something, not 32K. I should have taken that notice, right, from back in 2019, Charlie. So that was pretty interesting. And then here, you know, the next leg up, basically, I have here smack dab in the middle. You can't quite see it, but smack dab in the middle of 2022. And you can see my finger over that point there at about $220,000. I think in this bull market, we'll get on a blow off top to about $240,000 per Bitcoin. My bear target would be $150,000 to $180,000. But yeah, we're pretty much on trajectory and pretty close on time and price, give or take, you know, a couple or a few $1,000s, and give or take, you know, 1 or 3 months on these different points. So, yeah, I just wanted to look back at that, because sometimes you got to remind yourself, like, okay, where was I looking at this market from the beginning? And it's right on track for that. So that's kind of scary. I just thought about that today. I totally forgot about this just in the last couple of weeks as well, after I'd showed it on my show. And so that also is pretty interesting. So we're right on track with what I expected. Then lastly, just in terms of, you know, the charts here, because I know sometimes when we give a lot of stats, like people are like, that's a lot of information, but just take a nugget or two of, what you understand for yourself, what fits the best, and take that information and go and do your own research, check my information, see where I may be correct or incorrect, and then, absorb that information for yourself. So hopefully, this information hits for everybody. But this chart here, I haven't shown yet on the show, but this is through Glassnode, which does a lot of on-chain data. And they're talking about net unrealized profit loss chart. And the interesting pattern that you see here with this chart, it's very not obvious when you first look at it, but in a bull market, this 0.5 line is extremely important. You saw this bull market with the price here, and we saw a lot of green and blue and a little bit of yellow, so a little bit below that 0.5 line. The next bull market, right, we saw mainly that area as well, with a little bit of a touch above there in the early stages of the bull market. And then same pattern here, we see a touch above there in the early stage of the bull market, and then mainly here at the end of the bull market, mainly green. And then same thing here, a touch above it in this bull market. And then now we're just starting in this green area. So the most important thing about this chart is the number of times in each bull market that Bitcoin, this specific indicator touches this 0.5 line. So here it touched it once, twice, and then the third time it broke down, right? So that was the end of the bull market. This one, it touched it once, twice, 3 times, and then it broke it. And then it had that little bit before coming up to the upside. So we had that little bit before coming to the upside. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches here in that bull market. So you see 2, 3, 4 touches. And we had the same pattern here. We had a little bit up, right, in the early stages of the bull market. Then this is the first touch. So if this pattern continues to play out, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna touch this line potentially 5 times in this bull market. And the other thing that I did with this chart was look at the timing between each of these times it hits the 0.5 line is about 2.5 to 4 months apart each time. And so if you add those together for 4 more touches of this in the bull market to equal 5 touches in total as we progress here, that puts the bull market continuing to from somewhere between June to November of next year. So we're going to have probably 4 more crashes or 3 to 4 more crashes similar to this, maybe not this extreme, but touching that line a few more times before the bull market is over. So I think this is extremely useful right here, this chart pattern. I haven't seen too many people talking about it.
Last night full of so much information, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of information, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, you take in as much data as you can, and then some data makes sense for some people, other data makes sense for other people. And, you don't have to try to understand it all, but, take in what you can and then go out there and test it yourself, right? See if I'm correct or if I'm wrong, if I've made any mistakes. And then, we can talk about it in the crypto mindset course in more detail.
Yep. And KP9477 was actually in that old school video with him, Charlie. Yep. And he's now in the chat. He was here with us 2 years later. Thank you so much, KP. $5 super chat says, thanks to Moon Gang, I didn't panic and scored an Ethereum at $2,000. Already, it has paid for the next course. And Charlie, if you want to, guys, look, here's the deal. Charlie and I have been working with him behind the scenes on getting his course maximized to educate you, and that is the crypto mindset course, right? So Charlie, get ready to share your screen so we can show them what exactly they need to do. You guys need to get educated on what is happening this summer. This summer is going to be financially lucrative, to say the least, okay? If you do not have a guiding light, if you do not have someone guiding you, if you do not have someone showing you the way with their 5+ years of expertise in this area, you will not maximize your profits. It is a guaranteed fact. That being said, go over to cryptomindsetcourse.com right there and just get on the email waiting list by putting your email address in right there. Click right there to sign up, and you'll be prompted on June 10th when the actual course itself opens, okay? You can only enroll in the course for 5 days. That is June 10th, June 11th, June 12th, June 13th, June 14th, right?
Yep.
And June 15th is no, June 14th is the
Nope,
last.
June 14th midnight.
Accepted the truth.
June 14th midnight is the last chance you can get into the course. Okay. This is a literal crash course on everything you need to know with this extremely volatile market. Okay. We have a team of experts that are deeply ingrained into the right information sources that are available on the internet. And, you could go try to figure it out on your own. You can lose your money.
Yeah, we figured it out on your own for about 4 years until you finally, start getting it right.
Or you can just get into cryptomindsetcourse.com. Get on the waiting list. It's completely for free. And then Charlie's going to be educating you through 20 individual Zoom sessions that will all be recorded. You get added to a private Discord. And then you get to watch the recordings as well to educate yourself on up-to-date information. We're not going to be shilling like shit boy and his like fucking gambling links, 100x trading leverage links. We're not gonna, and none of that. There's no chance. We're gonna tell you exactly how to make money quickly. Okay, even if for you guys that thinks like $10,000 is a lot of money, dude, we're gonna teach you to laugh at the idea of making $10,000. Okay.
Yeah, and the course itself is $797, right? Which is an absolute steal for the amount of information we give.
Robbery.
20 webinars over 2 weeks, where we're giving up to 8 hours of content per day, 2 hours recorded, 2 hours non-recorded. And the non-recorded portion is where all the gems are, because people ask all the questions that aren't quite kosher for YouTube, right? We can't quite discuss all that stuff on YouTube. So it gives people a good time to ask everything and anything that they want to know. But then it also gives us time. We have, each webinar is 2 hours of a structured presentation and structured questions based on that specific topic as well. So for the people who just want to look at the recordings afterwards because they're busy with their own work or whatever, they can watch it on their own time. They're going to be able to view the course videos throughout the quarter. And we do add each quarter 30% new information. So each quarter, you want to maximize your gains, and you might get one quarter where you're like, okay, basically I'm going sideways right now, but it's accumulation time. So you want to, basically keep on track. And we have a lot of guys who have been in every crypto mindset course, and guys who've just joined recently who are going to be in every crypto mindset course throughout the bull market, because it's their way as well to kind of purchase insurance, right? So a lot of these guys are putting in, between 10,000 to 100,000, sometimes more, depending on their situation. And, if you're spending that much money and investing that much money in the market, having a little bit of extra cash here to join a group that's going to help you improve, but then also as insurance to make sure you're doing the right things continually throughout the bull market is massively important.
Yeah. I mean, fundamentally speaking, just think about this. Why would you just rely on one brain when you can tap into a community of hundreds of brains?
Exactly.
And not like mouth bleeding weirdos on YouTube, like guys who are like actually financially invested and taking it serious enough that they're investing themselves in the course and then investing their own personal money to make money. Let's be honest, guys, we're all here to make money. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we all care about the freedom of crypto and the freedom of earth and all that shit. But at the end of the day, we all want to get paid. And me and Charlie, we don't waste our time. We certainly don't waste fucking time at all. And the reason why Charlie had, how many signups did you have? 900 something?
942, the last one.
942. Okay. We're probably going to get 1,000 plus this time because we're on this.
Yeah, we are. Yep. Yeah, we have about 366 people signed up onto the short list right now. And then we also have some people who've joined the list through other means throughout the last quarter. So there's a lot of new people who haven't jumped on the course yet. I got a lot of consultations with people saying, man, I wish I would have jumped in on Q1 or Q2. But here I'm going to take a consultation, then I'll get on the next one.
Yeah. And so that's what we're offering. And all you need to do is go to cryptomindsetcourse.com. I will be doing a co-promotion with Charlie. So if you want to support my channel, definitely come sign up through my link because Charlie has to pay me and Charlie really bites. Payback for Charlie throwing away my brand new grill as I left the house.
And messing with your sound system.
Messing with my sound system. But guys, ultimately, we wanted to help you start off your day, you guys over there in the United States. For you guys over watch us in Tokyo, we appreciate you as well. But we wanted to help you guys just get some daytime clarity, nighttime clarity in regards to what's happening in the market. Guys, stop believing the mainstream media. Stop. They don't want you to be rich. They want you to be poor and stupid, and they want you to take the vaccine. Don't do any of that shit. Okay. Not medical advice, whatever. But
not financial, not medical advice.
Not financial advice, not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I just play one in the bedroom. But that being said, stop with the fear, guys. Be grounded. Be grounded in our data. Charlie and I don't fuck around. We don't waste time. We know our reputation's on the line. And the bull market is going to go at least until March of next year. Minimum. Okay. So that being said, we'll see you next week here live, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Tokyo Crypto Show. Go get on the waiting list for Cultivate Crypto's Crypto Mindset course. Go there right now, cryptomindsetcourse.com. We'll see you next